Last March, they kicked out 45 Russian diplomats. Now, they're kicking out Russian high school students. What is going on in Poland? Hi there, I'm Dr. K, a political scientist, and today we're going to talk about the Vienna Convention and diplomatic reciprocity. On April 29th, Polish officials cleared a building that was used by the children of Russian diplomats as a school. The building, according to the Polish Foreign Ministry, doesn't really belong to the Russian embassy. But Russia is mad, saying international conventions have been broken, specifically the 1961 Vienna Convention, and an idea called extraterritoriality, the idea that embassy grounds are, in theory, like the land of the countries that use them. The Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations sets the modern framework for rules on how to treat embassy real estate. There's also rules on how to treat the households of diplomats, their spouses, their children, and in some cases, even their housekeepers. Countries don't mess with these rules, but not because they all respect international agreements. I'm looking at you, Russia. But because how they treat diplomats in their country is how their own diplomats will be treated in other countries. Size doesn't matter in international law. Every nation state is considered the same. So when there are obvious disparities between two countries, you have to ask yourself, why? So let's get into it. Russia is considered the legal successor state of the Soviet Union. And while Russia calls the Soviet invasion of Poland in 1939 a march of liberation, after World War II, Poland was regarded as a satellite state in the Soviet sphere of influence, even though it was never part of the Soviet Union. Some historians claim that countries like Poland, Romania, Czechoslovakia, and Hungary weren't integrated into the Soviet Union like the Baltics because their votes as sovereign states were needed in the UN, for example. And despite sovereignty on paper, Poland was very much under Moscow's control, and any property diplomats of the USSR wanted to use in Warsaw as housing, offices, or even as schools for their kids was not gotten in a fair and equal negotiation. Russia says that in 1953, the Soviet embassy and the government of the Polish People's Republic reached an agreement to transfer the school building to the Russian embassy for the free and perpetual use of the building. The mayor of Warsaw said the school had no diplomatic status and is not protected by diplomatic immunity. A good way to check this would be to find out if there was Polish security at the school. The receiving state is responsible for the security of diplomatic buildings according to the Vienna Convention. And for years, the city of Warsaw reported a huge disparity in the number of diplomatic buildings Russia has in Warsaw compared to what the Poles have in Moscow. Ever since breaking away from Moscow's communist-era dominance, Poland has been trying to claim back a number of properties used by Russia. The school was one of them. On May 2nd, Russia summoned the Polish embassy's charge d'affaires. That's a big deal. But if the situation was fair to begin with, Moscow would just close Poland's embassy school there. But there isn't one. Feel better informed? Make sure you like and follow me.